I do not care. There is no way I'm sending away Tyreek Hill in a one quarterback PPR 12 team start 9. There's no way I'm sending away Tyreek Hill for a 27 first, a 26 first in 2 seconds. Cody, tell me I'm wrong.
I can't tell you you're wrong because those things are imaginary. They're in the future. They don't even exist. Give me Tyreek Hill and what he's doing in a 1 QB, 1 PPR, 12 team start 9.
Chase, come on. Are we off?
Start 9. What are we talking about here? Give me Tyreek Hill all day over 2 years out picks.
Now let's talk about it.
Okay, let's get it. Bitch, let's get it. Woo!
Welcome in, everybody. It's me, your East Coast Canadian connection, Ty Declare at Ty Declare 44 on X, on Discord. And today I'm joined by the Overreaction Podcast crew, the Fantasy Draft Room boys. I got Cody Smith at Cody Smith TFDR on my left. I don't know where it shows up for you. And then on my right, I got Trophy Chase at Trophy Chase TFDR. Boys, how are we doing tonight?
Doing all right, man. Happy to join you here. We got all of the time zones almost pretty covered here. We're going all the way across the world. I think we got like 5 hours of separation between us. So, I think you were basically seeing into the future, but it's a fun time. Thanks for bringing us on, man.
Yeah, appreciate you having us on. Love doing this. Love talking trades. Do it in the Discord all the time. Let's do it live.
Absolutely. This is the Dynasty Trades show. Welcome to it. If you want in on the show, head on over to the Destination Devy Patreon, patreon.com/ALLGAS. Get in the Discord, get on the website, destinationdevy.com for all the great tools, rankings, everything we got popping over there. But like you said, we got some trades to talk about. So, yeah, one quarterback. I mean, again, 26, 27 first. It's not really where I want to park my money right now. I want the hammer of hammers in this league. Yes, Tyreek Hill allegedly will retire at one point in his NFL career. I know that's a fact. I'm just not giving up Tyreek Hill for this seemingly flexible, seemingly nice bag of beans, but it's a one quarterback. Like it just doesn't give the pull for me. Like I know we just talked about it. Like I'm not off there, right? No.
I can't get there. No, like you need something tangible back. I'm not betting on these first and where they could potentially lie 2-3 years in the future and then 2 seconds to do it for me here. I need a player that has a little bit of stability baked into him that I know is a good producing wide receiver. Otherwise, I'm not just betting on all these picks here. Chase, any way that you could salvage this, any way that you could say anything other than putting an actual player in here? Maybe if the 26 first looks really good, but that's still 2 years away. How can you project that?
Honestly, this is how Johnny slays all. This is what I love to. I have one quarterback league left, and this is exactly what you do. You give them these magic beans of this 26 first, this 27 first. It's probably going to be late if you're building your team right. And in a one quarterback league, like that is essentially a mid-second round pick in Superflex. I am good. And you're still talking about 2 years in the future for a majority of these picks. See ya. Gone. Long gone.
Yeah, I can make those up in pretty short order. And Cody, I agree. Like if there's even like a Michael Pittman, a Keenan Allen, a Deontay Johnson, something that I know what it is, it would help me to really make a base off of, how many firsts will it really take to make that happen for me, right? But I just can't do it for just the picks. I need something back, something I can sink my teeth into. So yeah, I agree with you there, Cody. Anyone else have anything else in this deal? Any last thoughts? No, pretty damn straightforward. So we're going to go all the way to the bottom. We got Ben Mason talking crap, Chase trying to get him to drop a Rumble deal, which he didn't. So you hate to see it, but Xavier 11 has a 12-team Superflex start 11, 1.5 tight end premium. Before this move, he had a stacked quarterback room. He drafted Stroud at late 4th, got some good deals. He got 3rd place last year. Now he's going for the win. So he sent away CJ Stroud, a 2025 second, a 2025 third, and the 308 in 2024. And he got back Aaron Rodgers and CD Lamb. So we got to start 11, 12 teams. So quarterbacks matter. CJ Stroud, pretty much top of the quarterback ladder, right up in that elite tier. You got Aaron Rodgers, who is a starting quarterback with 1.5 legs, one calf, probably skinny. CD Lamb, who is a certified hammer, and then some filler picks. Chase, I'm going to come to you first here. Where does this deal land for you?
I love the thought process here of moving away a Stroud. I love the idea. It's like you already have Allen and Kyler that you feel like you're going to lock into your lineups. So I don't mind moving it away. It just feels like one of those situations where it's like down tiers gone wrong, like if you need quarterback help, you're stuck with Aaron Rodgers. At least I love the fact that you got CeeDee Lamb. I do love that. I feel like it's a balanced trade. I'd probably prefer the package. I think I could have done more with CJ Stroud, but in the end, if it serves the purpose of hitting my lineup as far as CeeDee Lamb, I honestly would prefer to get something else other than Rodgers back, just so I'm still trying to impact my lineup, where Aaron Rodgers is going to sit on your bench for the hope for the year if you can continue to rely on Allen and Kyler. So I'd kind of lean the Stroud side, but I get why you'd want to go after Lamb.
We're going to start it off with contention amongst the trade show hosts here. I mean, that's my guy. That's my quarterback right up there. I live in Houston right now, but I will send away Stroud, who is not a rusher who needs to rely on a maximum amount of efficiency in the passing game. I think he's overvalued in the landscape right now, and I would honestly be okay if it was just a straight swap between CeeDee Lamb and CJ Stroud, and that's how I'm kind of valuing it here right now. You put it in a second, a third, and a third, and I can get Rodgers for that. I think I'm okay there as well to give you a little bit of security back at that quarterback 3 if that's how you want to build your team. I like the side. Give me the hammer wide receiver. Give me Lamb. Give me Rodgers here.
Yeah. So I was going to try and clean that up a little bit. Yeah. So a 25 second, a third, and a 308. Is that good enough for Rodgers? Close enough, at this stage in his career and what he is. Yeah.
All good.
So more or less, yeah, a straight swap CeeDee Lamb for CJ Stroud. If you have a team with Josh Allen, Stroud, and Kyler, if I'm moving away that Stroud, I probably don't want to bring back quarterback value anyway. So I might as well climb to the top of the wide receiver ladder. So with the team presented here, I'm happy taking the Lamb side. But if it was the other way, right? They have Bryce Young and Derek Carr, might feel a little different, right? Might really want to lean that CJ Stroud side. So it's probably a good deal and pretty fair in the end. But given the context, good work getting that CeeDee Lamb. Like I said, you can probably construct around that CJ Stroud, I guess that Aaron Rodgers now a little better. I like that down tier to QB3, and yeah, good work. Good work, Xavier. Okay. 12 team, back to one quarterback, PPR start 10. We have a contending team, and Tater Wolf got Tank Dell and Roshan Johnson and sent away Ramondre Stevenson and that Jameson Williams. People like some Jameson Williams. There's some hype in the streets right now. Some coach speak is getting people all hot under the collars. The vapors are starting. The hams are being steamed. You got Ramondre Stevenson, who has just been a hammer at running back, for what he is. And he should have good opportunity this year. We got Roshan Johnson, who good luck projecting what Roshan Johnson's going to be aside from a running back on a 53-man roster. And then Tank Dell. We love ourselves some Tank Dell. Cody, you're the Houston fan. I know that you like yourself some Tank Dell, but you have I'll say probably the closest touch to the Houston offense that I know in my close circle. You make this move? Yeah.
I like the value side that you got, but whenever you put contending with an exclamation mark at the top of it, Tank Dell's not the first name that comes to mind whenever I'm trying to buy a contending piece to push in for here. I still like the value. I would still much rather have Tank Dell and Roshan than Ramondre and Jameson Williams. Honestly, in a start 10, 1 QB, I don't value at all Jameson Williams or Roshan Johnson. And then you're just putting side by side Tank Dell and Ramondre Stevenson. Sure. But now let's go one step further. And I need to flip that Tank Dell into something else, because I still think personally he's the wide receiver 3 in Houston. And if that's the case, I'd much rather go into one of, can we get to that Tyreek Hill? Can we get to any of those other aged vet producers instead of Tank Dell? I think that would be the only thing that I like from here. Like the deal still, but I want one more step.
Chase, what do you think?
Took the words right out of my mouth. Yes, the value is there for Tank Dell, but that's not someone I want to plug into my start 10, contending lineup. So yes, the value is there, but this is a step to a step. Make sure you go out there and move that Tank Dell at this point. So don't just celebrate the win in this deal. Make sure you capitalize on that to actually get the points back.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I like myself some Tank Dell too. I think that he has the chance to be like the best wide receiver in that offense. That's crazy that is to say with Steph Diggs and Nico Collins. Who knows how that's going to show up and shake out. But Chase, you two just did a great show comparing, underdog value and KTC value and trying to find those guys who you think can actually provide you those efficient and cost-effective win now moves. If you have that Tank Dell, what kind of a move are you thinking of making if you are a contending roster?
Well, I really want to look at my team and see if I need to get 2 pieces. Like maybe I can go after a Cooper Kupp and a a pick as well that you can potentially package up and still further improve my lineup. But I'd go after one of the aging guys, ideally Devontae Adams, Cooper Kupp, Amari Cooper even would be a good one to put in there, where you can get a plus back for what you're getting, and you're going to probably get more points out of at least the same amount of points as what Tank Dell would put up this year. So that's kind of what I look for. And then again, continue to add to that lineup. One QB start 10, that's essentially like a Superflex start 11. So you still need a little bit of depth, and I think you can continue to build to your roster if you move that way.
Yeah, for sure. Cody, see that any differently?
No, just a couple of names I'd throw out there. Look for some Debo Samuel, look for some Mike Evans, Devontae Adams, DK Metcalf, or just pivot over to who I think is the better wide receiver, Nico Collins. And we can do that one as well. Just pivot right across to the other side of the formation.
Yep. No, I like that. And Shane also just did a great piece on Shane Says, breaking down there's differences and there's levels to this wide receiver stuff. And there's a big old flat tier. So you can move around that ADV value, move into that production value on a contending roster. I like doing that. So good work, Tater Wolf, but don't rest in your laurels. Go do something else with that. Okay, back to Xavier. We got a lot of picks flying around here. We got a 14-team Superflex start 11, 1.5 tight end premium, and an essay. We're going to come back to the context after. Okay, so Chase, I'm going to start with you here as well. All right, we got the 214 and the 514 in the startup. Really hard to do. Maybe I do have to go back and actually do this. Yep, I do. So Malik Neighbors and Jordan Addison, because I'm not going to make you think about startup ADP here. So Neighbors and Addison for Rome Odunze at 25 first and at 26 second. So, I mean, I'll tell you this, okay? So people like themselves from Addison. On some shows, people think that we are undervaluing Addison. You know, he did have a great year from a rookie perspective, and I think that he does still have the opportunity to grow. But, you know, a 25 first for Addison, I doubt you'll get anything more for that. You know, I think it's certain, you know, he does have that value. I don't think you're getting any more than a first for Addison. So then it's Neighbors for Rome in a second. I think personally, I'm just going to lean the Neighbors side of that, but the Odunze side, the Rome Odunze side could pay off. So, Chase, where do you think, where you landed on this one?
Yeah, when it comes to startup trades, you have to lean in. And so if you're leaning in and making a trade like that and taking Roman picks, like hopefully you're continuing to make other moves. That's not like a one trade move for your team build and your actual construction of your roster. I prefer, give me the Neighbors and Addison side on this. I don't really, at least I like win now, right? Cody and I talk about win now all the time. And for me to build that way and just take Rome, who theoretically may not have the best opportunity ahead of him, that's going to be a situation where I'm going to take the Neighbors and the Addison value and see if I can move that too later.
We're going to oppose again. We're going to go oppose again. So in the startup and while we're here, I like having a little bit more future liquidity that I can just pick up for what I basically think is free. Obviously, in a 1 year window, people are going to value Neighbors a little bit more over Rome just because the pieces that are there, but they're still both rookie wide receivers and we have no guarantee between the two of them. I don't have that much of a delta to where I could basically just say Rome and Neighbors could wash out, and then you're going to give me a 25 first, 26 second for Addison, and I'll easily cash out for that. You get me a little bit of wiggle room to play around with during the season, even during the startup if you want to. You have plenty of time to reinvest that if you still want to go into a win now team. I think there's more value, and I can do a little bit more with the left side here with Roma first and a second.
Mm-hmm. Does the 14 team of it all change at all? And how you value those picks? Chase, you're shaking your head. What do you think?
Yeah, that's why I looked at that. Like the fact that it is a 14 team. My guess is, I mean, again, this is all assumption. We're talking about startup. We're talking about that kind of conversation. If I'm giving up my first and my second to acquire this, I'm assuming I'm a contending team. And if I'm going to be giving you a bottom 4, bottom 3. Hopefully, you know, we don't know what that looks like today, but that's my assumption today. And so it makes me feel like if I'm giving up a late first, late second, give me Addison over the late first. And then if you're talking about a late second and Rome to get Neighbors, I'm taking Neighbors all day.
Yeah. Isn't there something to it though? Because like you're sending the first and the second. The first and second are already gone. Now he can't have anything else to push in with. So his first is already gone this year, second next year, and then you've just given him back Neighbors and Addison that are going to help him win this league. Like those are two pieces that I still like those pieces, but I have no guarantee that those are going to make his team infinitely better to where he's now a playoff contender just because of this move that he made here. So I'd be okay betting against the pick still.
And I'm curious now, like giving the full team context, because we're looking at the screen here. You see that he now has Caleb, Herbert, Kyler, Purdy, and Levis. So you got a bunch of QBs where you can trade and move and make some additional moves. You then have JT, Neighbors, T. Higgins, Addison, Ladd, Leggett, Dotson. I mean, the rest don't really need to be that named, but you have the opportunity to make moves to put yourself in a situation. I do get where you're coming from, though. I mean, and honestly, like reading that team, it's probably not a top 4 team right now. That's not a top 4 team. So yeah, that'll sting. That'll sting if you don't make the right moves with moving a Herbert or a Kyler, or like you have to move 2 of those quarterbacks. You got to move 2 of those quarterbacks to make yourself an actual contender. Otherwise, you probably gave up non-playoff first.
Right. And that's the tough part of trying to make a trade like this in the startup, giving up your first now before we're even close to the point scoring season. You're not only giving up your flexibility to make these future moves, or those really like quote unquote easy tier ups, where you're able to throw a first and really get something done. You're taking away that. You're betting on yourself, which again, I agree, Chase. I see a team with a lot of good pieces, but it's not really constructed in a way that's making me think this is a no doubter, right? And it sounds like they're taking on Addison, going to try to take Addison and then add it to one of their quarterbacks to tier up. I don't know which tier up. Is that tier up at wide receiver? I assume it's not tier up at quarterbacks. We have enough quarterback value, right? So,
better not be.
I like the thinking ahead. It's going to have to take a couple moves here. Probably the simpler move would have just been, if you're really convicted and want Neighbors, just try to go Neighbors for that 410 in the second, save the first. I don't need that Addison. I can figure out the rest, but hey, you make your shots now, you make these bets now. So I hope it works out for you, but I agree. Probably have a couple more moves here to make, especially trying to move that Addison if the goal is to tier up somewhere else. Okay. Here we go. A 16 team start 8.
Ooh.
1 quarterback. We can't get out of this 1 quarterback land. Juice scoring, fatty tight end premium, extra PPR, point per carry. We got juice scoring across the board here, boys. All right, we got it's overall balanced though. Really solid roster. Kyler, CMC, G. Will, Mike Evans, Andrews, Pitts, Neighbors. Sheesh. So they have their 5th 25 first as well. They're getting Mike Evans, Christian McCaffrey, Baker Mayfield in that 25 first. They're giving up Nick Chubb, an IDP player, Jackson Smith and Jigba, Xavier Worthy, and that man, CJ Stroud. I'll tell you one thing. If I have a hammer team, I have 5 first in my pocket. I now have 5 first in my pocket. I feel good. I feel like I can take on some risk and really push in. I think this is a great price to get for CJ Stroud. I think it capitalizes on probably the value now for Xavier Worthy, moving off JSN and some stuff, get into a Mike Evans who should outproduce any wide receiver on that side. Christian McCaffrey, who should outproduce almost any asset on the other side. Baker Mayfield, the starting quarterback, and you get another first. Cody, am I out to lunch?
I don't think so, but man, like obviously value side is going to sit on that right side. I do like what we're doing here, getting the Mike Evans, the CMC, and Baker to replace a little bit of what Stroud's going to give you. But man, if we're just looking pure assets and looking at pure value, I mean, I could probably throw minimum Baker and CMC to get to Stroud, and then Mike Evans and a first, and then we're getting Christian Wilkins. I don't know what the IDP scoring is here, but that's pretty damn good IDP score. Mm-hmm. You got an upside shot in Nick Chubb, you got JSN, and you've got Xavier Worthy to just cross out Mike Evans in 1 first. The value's on the send side for me, but I understand where we're going here and getting Mike Evans, CMC, Baker is just your replacement level, and then another first. I don't know. I might have just rather thrown my first around instead of just sending off some of these players like the CJ Stroud and some of the upside shots that you have. But I understand where we're coming from.
And we disagree yet again. All right. So I'm going to be taking, hands down, I'm taking the Mike Evans, Christian McCaffrey, Baker Mayfield side. Just going back, 16 team, start 8, 1 QB. I do not care about CJ Stroud. You got Kyler Murray already locking in there, so you're fine. So you're just getting, in a 1 QB league, you're getting some value for CJ Stroud, which is awesome, because a lot of times that is tough. You're getting arguably the top scorer in fantasy for CMC. You're getting another starter, and even in a start 8, like Mike Evans should be a potential starter that can put up points for you. And then you get another first that you add to your plethora of picks that you can still make moves with. Yeah, I'm taking, give me the hammer and CMC, give me the backup QB and Baker, so I have a little stacky stack, and have Mike Evans in there. gonna have a lot of fun with this one. So I'm win now mindset. I'm absolutely taking that. And even value wise, like I still don't think like Worthy, you're not going to feel great plugging in. JSN, not going to feel great plugging in. You hope Nick Chubb plays a lot this year. And then CJ Stroud, I guess you got yourself a starting QB and a 1 QB. But yeah, give me that left side all day, that CMC pick.
Yeah, the deal's closer than Superflex, but yeah, I'm with you, Chase. I just think it's too much hammer now value for hope and value in like a trade installation sense, right? Like I just want, if I can just add Evan CMC in that first and I had 5 first to play with, like with that team that's listed, I don't really care about value. I can send that away if it means that I'm setting my team up to win right now.
I'll redact previous statements and say once we have a 1 QB league and we already have Kyler with context, I'm going to go with the left side with y'all too.
Excellent. Just cut out that last 2 minutes there, Jay Rich. Thanks, buddy. All right, we got a 32 team best ball start 5. Okay.
Oh,
32 team best ball start 5. You start a running back, a wide receiver, and 3 flexes, with one of those flexes being a super flex. The quarterback scoring is juiced, but you can only start 1. Okay, here we go. I should have pulled the war for this thing.
Whoever started
we
this
got
league,
Drake London and Chris Olave. Oh, come on, right? Drake London, Chris Olave. For Drake May, 26 first, 26 second, and a 2025 first. And Heated Hot Sauce chipped in here, said, first, that's not mine, should be early. So that should be an early first for Drake London and Chris Olave. Guys, I have no idea really how to feel in this league aside from I want hammer shots where I can. I don't know how to really feel about Drake May in this league. Where are you two at, Cody? Cody, we're starting with you this time.
Yeah, do we have what his quarterback room currently is right now? Because that's the biggest thing that I can't. Just Stafford.
We have Stafford.
Because I'm trying to figure out how to evaluate quarterback within this league when it's 32, but you can only start 1. But you're also, if everything is juiced, I don't know how much I actually even want to start a quarterback in that super flex sometimes. I think that you might actually be able to get pretty solid value out of just another flex spot. I don't know what the quarterback market is here. I think your league is going to tell you how you should value Drake May. I have no idea. I don't think it's actually going to be that valuable. In my opinion, but I do not know. This is a crazy league that we are looking at right here. And so I'm just going to put him at like another mid-second that we're throwing in here. And then you're a first and a second for London and Olave. I like the 2 wide receivers here, to be honest, but I have no idea what evaluation that Drake May has.
This is a great time for a plug for a roster review, because holy cow, I'd love to see the war on this and see really how this whole thing breaks down. Because, I mean, it's like a 0.5 QB league is kind of how you want to look at this. Like, you don't have to start one, but you can. Like, this is really, really interesting. So wide receivers obviously seem to matter, but I would love to see the scoring on this. Obviously, with a start 5, you want hammers all day, every day. So I guess if, Chris Olave and Drake London can actually be something other than just a wide receiver 2, or for London's sake, you hope he's a wide receiver 2. I guess it's good. I think it's good. Maybe like you got a decent starting lineup there. Yeah, Stafford, I don't feel great as a quarterback, but what a weird one. What a weird league. Like, you guys are true degenerates for starting this. Good for you. I'd love to see how this whole thing pans out.
Yeah. I'm trying to consider the 32 team part of it all. Right. What matters more to me? Having 2 firsts in a 32 team league where one of those firsts could be 132, or getting 2 at minimum top 20 wide receivers. I think about, I can construct around wide receiver in best ball, but in this league, it's not your traditional best ball league. So I want to really find an advantage somewhere and squeeze that advantage as hard as I can. So I think I'm going to lean London and Olave here. One, because I think I've already seen these guys move for first in my league based on this deal. So I can find a deal if I really want to go another way with it. But more often than not, I might make myself more flexible now that I have Amon-Ra, Laporta, T, Olave, London, Rice. Like, I feel pretty good about my options there, and it maybe makes me more flexible elsewhere. But I truly have no idea how to feel in this league. And I'm going to, once we're off the line here, I'm probably going to go and try to find the war on this and really do a little self-exploration on this one. Any other thoughts on this one, guys?
It's weird. The last thing that I'd leave with it being only 5, you have 160 starters across the league, if I'm able to do math correctly on a Friday afternoon. And if you even just have 10 starters in a best ball start 5, I think you're perfectly fine here. And you're right along the line of getting to about 10 really good starters that we have listed out here. Because it's not just a normal best ball league where I just want absolute death. I just need, truthfully, it's a best ball league with hammers, which is weird. But if you could just get 10 hammers in a 32 team, I think you could actually run the league pretty nicely. So I actually do just like kind of getting 2 guys that could potentially get up into that range in Drake London or Chris Olave. Even if just one of them works out, it's probably worth it in the end.
Yeah.
Yep. Good.
Yeah. I would like to see how active the waiver wire is for the quarterback market in a league like this, because I'm assuming there's not going to be too many backups rostered. I'm assuming that when guys do get starting jobs, though, it's going to be like hell to try to actually get them off the waivers. So fab might be really important in this league, but I truly do not know. Any 32, any real 16 plus leagues that we're in is usually double copy. So we don't have to really deal with that kind of weirdness. So heated hot sauce, fun league. Good luck. Who knows? All right. Dio got a 10-team Superflex 4-point passing touchdown, PPR, and a 0.5 tight end premium. One side has Jaden Daniels and Roman Wilson. And Dio got James Conner, Jalen Waddle, and a 2025 third-round pick. So really, if I'm looking at this just myself, I mean, James Conner and Roman Wilson in a non-best ball league, I want Connor over Wilson, even though Wilson's the younger asset. Maybe he can be a threshold wide receiver. I want Connor there. Waddle in a third. I'm just going to take Daniels in that sense. So it's probably a square deal, but in a 10-team league, I'm just going to lean the side that's sending away the quarterback value. Just give me Connor, Waddle in the third here. But if I have a quarterback need, I'm absolutely fine with the top side. So good deal in my opinion. Chase, how do you see this one?
Yeah, I kind of look at it the same way. I was wondering, start how many context with this one, just to kind of
Would be
have an
nice
idea.
to know.
Yeah, Connor and Waddle are starters for me. If I have QB depth, yeah, I have no problem giving up Daniels for that kind of return, especially in a win now. You got 2 starters. You feel good about that. I do think it's a square deal. In mind, it looks like Wild Stallions is trying to get some youth and basically start his build with a young quarterback and a young wide receiver that you have hope for. I like it for both sides personally, just point scorer in mind. Give me Connor and Waddle.
It's interesting because we are in the 10 team, but like even in a 4-point passing touchdown league, Jaden Daniels is the QB you would want. I think it's square for it being the 10 team, and I'm okay with both sides of this one, but I'm interested, Todd, throw it back at you before we move on here. If this was a 12-team Superflex, this is easily smash topside, right? It's only because we devalue the quarterback in the 10 team here that this is even close.
Yeah, 100%. Because Roman Wilson, I have a lot of Roman Wilson. He's really not adding much to this deal at all to me. It's the quarterback value in the league context. Waddle's value remains where it is, but once it goes to 12 teams, the scarcity jumps up. Give me Daniels in that sense. But Cody, you're right. Even in a league like this, Daniels is the kind of quarterback who can put up those crooked numbers, the kind of profile you actually want to bet on in this kind of a league. So that's why I still think it's square. And if I have any quarterback need at all, like you presented there, Chase, right? Someone that's just starting their build there, love getting a Daniels there. But in general, in the league format, I'll just lean getting the Connor, Waddle in the third. Cool. Awesome. Hey, good work, boys. Really, we smashed that one. We're going back to DO real quick. We got that 12-team Superflex. Oh, we got start 10 this time. Excellent. PPR 0.5 tight end premium and a 6-point passing. Dylan Polk, Ricky Pearsall, Derrick Henry, and a 2026 fourth. Had to get that 26 fourth in there. Sending away Devon Achane, 25 third, and a 2026 second. Chase, I'm going to start with you here. We got Achane, who is a hotly debated hammer, I'll say. I like Achan. I feel like Henry can do a lot of what Achan can do for cheaper. I like Polk. I like Pearsall, but who knows who's actually going to step up in those offenses, when opportunity is going to come. How do you feel on this one?
I feel really conflicted because of the players involved on both sides. Like, it's like you get an aging running back with some youth, and then you get a young player in Achan who could be a high-end scorer in fantasy for, a start 10. I mean, I look at it's a 26 second and third. I'm probably value-wise, I'm taking the Achan side. I'm taking the Achan side no matter what. I don't really know what I feel like with Ricky Pearsall and and Polk. I do like them, but give me the picks and the liquidity that I can kind of move with that, and give me Achan over Derrick Henry and really all of that. Like, if you really combine it all together, value-wise, I'm taking Achan over that entire other side.
I'm glad you got there, because
it
honestly,
took me a minute.
I'm glad you got there, because the way that I'm looking at this is like Ricky Pearsall right now, you're 26 second. You can probably swap that one out. Polk, you can probably swap for the third. And then I'm looking at it, and it's Derrick Henry and a fourth for A-Chain. And if that's the outcome that I end with, it's not even close. As much as I do love the King and I do love the Yeti. I mean, we've even got a Yeti mic on here right now, but it's going to be A-Chain for me every single day.
No, I'm there with you. Again, second and a third for Ricky and Polk. I'm okay crossing that out. Like, if you have conviction on one of those wide receivers, go buy them right now. Now's the time, right? But yeah, Henry and a fourth for Achan. I'm just going to take Achan on principle there. But I like the names and things over here. I just like Achan in the second and third better. So I'm there with you. If this was a start 12, does that equation change for you at all, Cody?
No, because they're still just random bet. Like, I just don't know what Polk, Pearsall, and a fourth is ever going to net me, other than Derrick Henry, who I don't know when he's going to fizzle out, but he's going to fizzle out at some time. Even though he is a unicorn, he is an enigma. I'm still not getting back enough of like anything known here for my A-Chain. And it also just feels like I'm playing two different sides of like Derrick Henry's the win now, and then I get two rookies and a random pick that probably doesn't even factor in or matter. It feels weird, and I don't know exactly how we got to this point here on the top side. I love what we're doing on the bottom, though.
I'll tell you what happened is someone didn't really like their Achan. They wanted to get off that Achan. They didn't like it at all. That Jalen Wright entered the building. I need off this Achan. Yeah. Chase, anything else?
Nope, that pretty much wraps it up. It's just confusing on the top side.
Yes. Gotcha. We got Sanford here. We got a 12 by 11 best ball Superflex juiced scoring for all positions. So the tide that raises all boats here. We got Tajay Spears, Zach Charbonnet, and Jaden Daniels being acquired for Brock Bowers, that man, Ricky Pearsall, Spencer Rattler, and a 2025 second. Sanford took over an aging orphan. They needed running back. Or they needed quarterback. So, I mean, Daniels is a great guy to get into. You sent away Bowers in the 1.5 tight end premium best ball. I mean, I'm assuming 1.5. Did I make that up? I absolutely made that up. He got Bowers at 1.05, but it's not a 1.5 tight end premium, but it is juice scoring. So I'll assume tight end is juice, but everything is juice. So it's all relative. Pearsall, I like him in best ball more than I do in lineup, but 205 is probably a pretty fair price there. Rattler, really interesting here. I mean, he's going to be a zero more than likely until he's not, right? So what is that truly worth in a 12 by 11 best ball with all that juice scoring, where every roster spot's going to matter? Those spike weeks are really going to matter, and you get a second. So the way I break this down, Zach Charbonnet or Spears, whichever one you really want to choose there. The 25 second, does that get it there for you guys, or is it a little bit more for one of those running backs?
I'm good crossing it out.
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Cross that off. Pearsall for Spears, cross that out. Is that close enough for you?
I personally even throw in the 305
Pearsall
on top.
and Rattler.
Yeah, and Rattler. Like, what is Rattler really doing for me here? It's okay. And then we're just looking at the 103 and the 105. And I think I win at every spot here. Like, I love this for Sanford.
Good for you.
Yeah. Free tier up at quarterback. Just swap to the players you want. Yeah. Good work. I don't think we're going more into that. Like, again, you tiered up kind of everywhere, right? You moved off that pick value before it became a player. great. You got rid of that mystery box appeal, moved into something you actually wanted. And yeah, love that for you. Good work, T. All right, we got me shouting things out. Cody, remember he's on the show today. Love to see it. Oh boy, Big Diaz energy. Here we go. We got a couple. We got a couple here from Big Diaz. All right, so we'll start with this one. We got a 12-team start 10 PPR Superflex. We got Michael Penix and a 2025 first being acquired for Nico Collins. Cody, this is your favorite wide receiver on the Houston Texans. We know you. I think you've come around a bit, but you still really hate Michael Penix. Like you just. I don't know what that man's family did to you, but I'm sorry. I'm just sorry. But Penix and a first for Collins, or Penix and a first for Collins. How do you feel?
I don't know. It's something innate in the back of my mind. Maybe it was like our ancestors or something, you know, where it had some big turf war or something. I don't know what it is, but there is an innate, just massive hate for me with Michael Penix pick. And normally it's actually just because I don't see him starting over the next 2 years outside of injury. But this is interesting. Is there any other context to where this first lies? Because that changes everything for me here. I actually do kind of like just off the cuff looking at it as a 25 first and Michael Penix mid to late, and now I'm flipping to the other side. Okay, let's go with Nico Collins here. We'll take it on that side.
So if that's a mid or like a real convicted first, a non-playoff first, you feel better about that?
We changed that to early mid instead of late mid. I'll probably flip to the other side because while I do love Nico Collins, I don't think that with the team construction as it is right now that he ever gets to like truly elite tier. And I'll just pick on the 25 first and see where that lands me. And I still have another Michael Penix pick that a lot of people still value as a first that I can potentially move off of later.
Mm-hmm. Chase,
so which side did you officially take then?
I'm still taking Nico now, knowing that it's a late pick, mid late. Okay. But
yeah, I mean, just looking at the context of what he acquired Nico for, he kind of won. He feels like he got Drake May reacquired. I don't know. Just looking at this, I feel like I'd take Nico Collins, but I think I might be able to do more with that first and Penix than I can with Nico Collins, even though he got the contract extension. I'm not quite as all in on Nico Collins as the rest of the community is. I think he's a very good player, but I'm going to take the Michael Penix and that first and see if I can do something better with my team at that point. So that's just where I'm going to go with this one. I think it's a fair deal on each side, if I had to say.
Now, reading through this context, actually, it is just free value for him. Yeah. And so I'm actually okay with it there. Like I'm looking at this through the lens of just the individual deal, but the series of events that led you here, I'm actually really okay with this.
Yeah. But like even with all that context on the open market, how often are you getting more than a liquid 25 first with like the chance to be at least mid? Like for Nico Collins, like how often is that truly landing in your inbox where someone is willing to bet their entire team's future on Nico? Certain leagues, you probably see it more, but I mean, it's hard to get that. And then you get that Penix who, yeah, he could not start until 2031. But once he does, people are going to want him. Like some are going to be all the way in. Like we talk about that, like insulated, like first kind of value. I think it's, like I said, value wise, I like the Penix side. If you want to make a convicted bet on Nico Collins, trading someone who you don't think is going to start and what you think is going to be a late pick, Cody, I can see the thought process there as well, but I'm just going to take the Penix in the first here and move on. Okay, we got another deal here. No flex league, 12 by 11, 2 quarterback, 3 running back, 4 wide receiver, and 2 tight end. A bunch of scoring, PPR, first down bonus, reception bonus, return bonus, point per carry. People score points, people. Okay, there's a lot of points being scored here. And we got Shane Says acquiring Alvin Kamara and a second. Big Diaz energy getting Jonathan Brooks and a third. Cody, how are you feeling on this youth bet versus production bet?
It's the youth bet, and you better be able to value that Jonathan Brooks at running back 9, I believe he currently is on KTC, because I'll take the vet and the pick swap for me. I'll take Kamara in a second here. No flex league. Honestly, you're trading between the same position and 2 picks. Most of the context doesn't matter here. I'll just take the veteran producer and I'll take the pick upgrade for me.
Yeah, we'll keep this one real smooth here because that's exactly it. Give me the pick upgrade, something I can still be flexible with in season, and what is likely the higher score this year and for probably the next couple years. Worst case, they're on the same playing field. I'll take Shane's side on this one all day.
Yeah. You're flipping a coin and paying for the side of the coin that you want to land on. I'll just take the Kamara and the pick upgrade as well. I'm just going to bet Kamara and Brooks are going to do the same thing. And Kamara has 2 healthy knees confirmed. So we'll see. All right. Undertaker, Ulrico in the house, a 12 team start 13 with 4 IDP. Not sure how many of those IDPs factor in, but I'm going to assume we're talking a 12 by 9 for offensive players. 0.5 tight end premium, and it's a 1 quarterback league. This is the 1 quarterback episode. Hope you tuned in. Rico gets Jahmyr Gibbs with the 108 and the 310, and Arrowhead 83. My man, probably the Chiefs fan, got 101 and that 106. 1 quarterback picks make my brain hurt. Chase. I mean, 101 for Gibbs has to be at least the conversation, like in a 1 quarterback league, right? Like the hammers for hammers, but it's a 12 by 13. I'm assuming 12 by 9 for offensive players. How do you feel here?
I mean, that is Marv for Gibbs is what you're looking at, right? Like in a 1 QB, let's just wipe out the Caleb conversation. This is a Marv for Gibbs side. And then you also get the 106 over the 108. And I'm trying to think on the fly here, like that's probably going to be what worthy BTJ range. So you do get kind of out of that next tier. That's kind of like Lad McConkey potentially. So if I did my math right, I think you're still getting yourself another quality player in this draft. I'm going to take that 101 and 106 side. I like Jahmyr Gibbs, but I think we know what he is. He's still going to be a very good player, but I still think he's going to be a back end quarterback, running back 1. So what do you think, Cody? Where are you at on this one? Nailed it.
So the process that you were going through is was probably looking over to the side. I was pulling up the ADP of the 1 quarterback rookie drafts currently right now. If we were to go through that, it is Marv, Malik Neighbors, Romel Dunze, Xavier Worthy, Brock Bowers, Caleb Williams, Brian Thomas, Lad McConkey. So, I mean, you are in this range of just, if you want to make a convicted bet between Xavier Worthy, Brian Thomas, Lad McConkey, by all means, go for it. But I don't have legitimately any difference between the 106 or the 108. I'll let whatever happens fall there to me. So the 310, again, in this format, doesn't really affect me either at all. So we can just wipe off everything. And now it's Marv versus Jahmyr Gibbs. You can take whatever side of the bet you want on that one. I love Gibbs, but he's still got Monty there. I think his upside is still a little bit limited when that is currently still in play. I'll actually take Marv here. I normally don't take the rooks, but I'll take Marv here in this situation.
Yeah. I don't need to see the ADP. I know that Arrowhead 83 is taking Xavier Worthy at 1.6. Like guaranteed. Like if Xavier's on the board, he's gone. Right.
That was the bet.
1.8. Yeah, that's definitely the bet. Right. So I agree. Like if you're asking me to choose between Gibbs and Marv, I'm gonna lean Marv most times. Right. I'm like certain teams I'll make the Gibbs bet, but I think Gibbs's value, especially in a 1 quarterback league, has to be at the forefront. So I don't mind it, Rico. I mean, hey, if you do something with that 310 in a start 13 league, again, assuming 4 of those are IDP, right? Like you could freak that and come out on top, especially if that guy you chose at 1.8 or what you do with that 1.8 can do more than that 1.6. Like you can do something here, but just in a vacuum, I'm gonna take the 1.1 and 1.6 as well. So good stuff, Rico. Good to see you out here. Got a lot of text. We've already talked about that. All right, here we go. Cody, we're going to hit the process real quick. 12 teams start 10. Rashad White or Derrick Henry in a third?
Give me Derrick Henry in a third. I don't like Rashad White, and he's the he's behind Bucky Irving, if you were to ask me personally. So obviously, if they had to do that, we're going to lean Derrick Henry in a third, man.
I'm sorry.
He's not actually. I'm not actually putting that out there as advice.
we almost made it through the show without Bucky Irving love coming through. I'm sorry, everyone. Chase, get us back on track here.
I'm taking the Henry in the third. Do I wish I could get more? Maybe a second, sure, but same situation. I don't really believe in Rashad White in that situation with a new offensive coordinator. Bye. I sold Rachaad White last year before it happened, and I may have swung and missed, but long term, it was the move.
Dear God, look at the running back value that this
I
dude
was
is holding. Though.
just
Yeah.
gonna say, if I have Saquon, Achane, Spears, Moss, Roshan, Mostert, Ford, and Singletary, I am not giving you a third just to get into the running back that's probably in the exact same tier, if not, like I said, probably worse, like than Henry. So floaty, not the deal for me. But hey, you're in the Patreon, you're in the right place.
Go
So
liquidate like 7 of those running backs.
good Lord, Pistol Pete, how many deals we got going here? At least 8. Oh my God. Okay.
We like pick 2.
Rapid fire here, people. 12 by 11 Superflex PPR. Yeah, jeez. We'll see what we can do here. One step. I'll tell you what we're not going to do. We're not going to discuss Cup for a third, a fifth, and a fourth. We're not going to discuss that one for sure. We're not going to discuss Rashid for a third and a fourth. Not happening there. We're not talking thirds and fifth swaps. Running back and then a second. No. Paul. I'll tell you what. Pistol Pete, I will go back through and review those trades my own time. I'm not going to go through all those on the show here, but Matty Boy has a 10 by 10 Superflex PPR 0.5 tight end premium. He receives Amon-Ra St. Brown, the Sun God, and a 2026 third, giving away Zamir White, Garrett Wilson, Trey Benson, a 2025 first, and a 2025 second. In his opinion, all of these pieces are bench fodder, except for Garrett Wilson. But Chase, Amon-Ra and Garrett Wilson, close in the same arena. And there's a lot of stuff on the other side. How do you feel on this one?
I get that he has all of this bench fodder, but I'm taking that bench fodder and Garrett Wilson and those picks in order to get that done. I mean, 10 by 10. Some of those guys can start. You mentioned all of the wide receivers you have in that room, which is great. You know, having Chase, CD, ARSB, Puka, Nico T, swap out ARSB with Garrett Wilson. And I still think you have opportunities to do some other things with some of those bench fodder players and those picks. That seems like it's a lot to get Amon-Ra. A lot. Garrett Wilson in a first is probably like, if I really wanted Amon-Ra, I could go that far, but even that seems like it's a stretch.
I just don't care. Like, this dude is absolutely stacked in this league. Like, this is literally just a mess around, play around league at this point now. You roll out on a weekly basis and a start 10, Chase, CD, Amon-Ra, Puka, Nico. You're having to decide actually whether you want to start T. Higgins or not. That's most people's wide receiver 2 or 3. It's your wide receiver 5 or 6 now. This is disgusting. I don't know what your quarterback room looks like, but I personally don't care. This is just a mess around league. If you want Amon-Ra, by all means, you overpaid for it, but I don't care. Like, go get it. Just have 7 of the top 10 wide receivers in Dynasty, and yeah, have fun, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, if there's ever a team to overpay, have fun, just F it. Those picks will go somewhere. Like, yeah, this is the team. Get Amon-Ra on a 10 by 10. Like, if you have to choose to sit Nico or T weekly, like, your team's in a great damn spot. But on a team like that too, like, I'd love to have some extra first in my pocket and maybe liquidate a couple of those things. You know, I don't need to have the best of the best of the best if I already have hammers through and through. So I think, yeah, if there's a team to do that, sure, I'll take the Amon-Ra, but process in a vacuum, out of the vacuum, I'll just go Garrett Wilson in the package, thinking that Trey Benson's not just fodder. A first and a second isn't just fodder. Zamir White in a 10 by 10, you might start him once or twice, right? You'll probably know when, but yeah, I get it. I get it, but I'm just going to take the Garrett Wilson side. Cool.
Value-wise.
You know what? I think we got
there, but whatever.
Right. Exactly. Okay, we're gonna find one more here. Let me just scroll up. Cody, you know, while we find a deal here, talk us through this Overreaction 5.
Don't
Ben
even
Sennett, Dalton
entertain
Schultz.
this. Don't even.
Let's go,
do
Cody. Cody, we're in Cody's Krusty's land here. Cody, hit us up.
Who cares? It's I like Dalton Schultz more than I do the random rookie who's going to be playing behind Zach Ertz. Don't care. He's not the next Trey McBride.
Summed it up real nice.
Excellent. I lost video halfway through there, so I assume that you nailed that execution. And I'm pretty sure we also have had like a 2-second delay this entire time. So really impressed with us for keeping this thing on the rails, boys. But we're gonna end with this one. 12 by 10, Superflex, 0.5 PPR. Made his stomach drop, but he had to do it. Bijan Robinson in a 2026 first, or Jamar Chase. Chase, is this team dependent? Is this process? Where does this deal come down for you?
Yeah, I would love to see the context after we really look at it. I mean, without context, just looking at on the surface of Bijan Robinson in a first for Jamar Chase, I feel like I'm taking that Bijan Robinson. I mean, it's a 26 first, though. That's the thing that kills me. It's fair, but I'd take Bijan in the first. I think I could do something else with that value that Bijan does hold, and then a 26 first. And it sucks giving up Jamar Chase, but hey, if I'm getting that package, I'm taking it.
I still want the team that like I need be like, I don't know. He's still young. He's going into a new LA Rams style system where I don't think it's going to be like a split with Algier like it was last year. I do think we truly see what Bijan Robinson was meant to be. 10 by 10. So you want the hammers, you get a first on top of it. The first probably moves up a little bit, at least with the security of it. Now you have 5 25 first and 2 26 first. Goodness. Stuck and you can't acquire hammers. If that's the case, though, and this is just a dead league, you've done everything and you've just pillaged everybody for all of these firsts and you can't reinvest them, and now you just have to sit here and make the picks, it might be a tough time to get out of it, though. That's my only concern here. I like the value on the side in a vacuum, but if that's the case and this is the league format in which you're playing, the league context in which you're playing in, it might not be the best thing to move away from a Jamar Chase level player.
I will say, Ty, before we pass this to you on that kind of thought process, though, with those first, yes, you may not be able to acquire the young hammers. You might not be able to get back into Jamar Chase, but having 5 25 firsts and those 26 firsts, I do think you'll be able to acquire the high scoring assets in 2024. Like whatever players, just whatever Kyron Williams pops up, whatever, if Cooper Kupp and Devontae Adams are just having smash seasons, yes, you're going to take the injury risk and the age risk, but if they are in fact scoring, you will know that you can sell those to buy some of those aging players. That's how I feel. Of course, I'm not in the league. If it's truly like all of those aging vets are already on contending teams, I mean, it may get tough, but I do think you'll have an opportunity in season where injury strikes a team, they're not contending anymore, or being able to just package a bunch of those picks up and overpay for something that you really want to compete with. Mm-hmm. Could be an option.
Yeah, no, I'm there with you. And really, when I look at this, I think context truly does matter. Because I mean, you look at a deal like this, it's like, yeah, I'll take Bijan in the first, but I mean, I don't feel great about it because I really don't want to give up. Like in general, I like to lean wide receiver over running back, like just at a baseline, just from what I know I can do with those positions, right? If I can get a hammer at one, give me the wide receiver that's going to score 18 to 20 points per game versus the running back who I'll be able to find that production week over week in a vacuum, sure. But then let's look at it. It's a 10 by 10. It's a 0.5 PPR, right? They have Marv, Ayuk, Cooper, Ridley, Lockett. So they kind of have a good spread across the wide receiver, I guess, prism or landscape, right? Like they have a little bit of everything. I would love another hammer in there. A Chase would be great. Running backs, Bijan, Warren, Corum, Zeke, Gibson. Before Bijan was there, it's okay, right? You can still have some work and you have enough picks to really fill those holes, but it's okay. So no matter how you cut it, you need a hammer somewhere. So you stayed within the hammer. You got 5 25 first, your second 26 first. I think the 26 first is a bottom team this year who you also have their 25. So you are taking the double down bet on a team that you know is bad or you're expecting to be bad. You've taken away the flexibility of most of your league mates at this point already, where you have over half the picks in the 25 class already. Yeah, right now, people are pretty stingy and you can't acquire hammers. Wait until you're the only team in the league with picks and there's people who want to try and sell off and build for next year. Guess who they're going to come to? You, right? So while it feels a little gross, while your stomach drops, while you probably didn't wake up that day thinking, I'm going to sell Jamar Chase, I think you did the right thing sticking with the process here. you can figure out what to do with those first and really get some of those names that you do like while still having that damn Bijan Robinson as a nice crown jewel in your running back room. So I like it, J-Balls. I get the hesitation, but I'm just going to stick with process here. Okay. We did it. Boys, thank you so much for coming on. I always appreciate talking with you two. I think you two have such a great mind for trades, for value, for, I mean, you do the Overreaction podcast, but a level-headed approach to things. Like there's always a why behind what you do, and I appreciate that. You two have both also beat me in Royal Rumble, which sucks, but I'll get over it eventually. So Chase, Cody, we'll go in that order. Let us know where we can find you, what you got going on. And again, just thanks for coming on.
Appreciate you having us, man. Yeah, love being here and doing this. You can find us on X, as you mentioned earlier, at Trophy Chase TFDR. The Overreaction podcast drops every Tuesday. We're going to be there week in and week out. So make sure you do tap into Destination Devy radio feed, where you will find us on Tuesdays. Tons of great content there. And then, of course, the YouTube at the Fantasy Draft Room. That is where we will be all the time. So, yes, Cody.
At Cody Smith TFDR on the old X app. And other than that, we got TFDR, a little bit of a hiatus right now. We're coming back soon. Probably once the time zone switch back. I think that's probably it. Or maybe once we get to the actual season, we'll bring that back for sure. Looking forward to getting back into that. Ty, thank you again. Second time, I think, for both of us being on here. First time ever doing a 3-headed monster room. So hopefully y'all enjoyed it, to where we can all give opinions and debate all these trades that were pretty fantastic today. Other than maybe the 1 QB, we can talk about that. Let's get those Superflex leagues going. Other than that, though, I do still have one QB league myself. So I do hold a little bit of a special place for it in my heart.
Yeah, no, I didn't want to, hurt anyone's feelings. I didn't want to choose favorites. So I thought I'd get you both on, so no one can really blame me for anything. But where I like to choose my favorites? Underdog. And if you want to get on Underdog, sign up with code ALLGAS. Claim your special pick and first-time deposit bonus up to $250. If you want your shows on this show, your trades on this show, patreon.com/ALLGAS. Head on over to destinationdevy.com for everything DD has going. Guys, we did the damn thing. Hope you all enjoyed. If you found this actionable, entertaining, somewhere in between, hit the like, hit subscribe, hit that little bell so when new videos go up, you're the first one to see them. Take care. Make some trades. If you're in a 1 quarterback league, just try Superflex out, please. And we out of this thing. Peace.